time. We just feel that stickiness of certain things just don't seem to be going down, or, there's periodic food, depending on what you're buying, get a break on eggs, something else jumps up. It doesn't feel like we're having this really rapid deceleration. So, I mean, it still may happen though, right? Inflation lags, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the complicated thing with inflation is that there's a bunch of different, moving pieces that are sometimes moving counter to each other. So, the initial bout of disinflation coming from the fact that gas prices went from 5 to 3, which then flows into all sorts of different places in the economy. And then also a big shift downward in durable goods as the supply chain issues started to get resolved, started to see a drop in used auto prices in particular, but also imported durable goods. And so that created like a big disinflationary impulse on the economy and brought inflation down considerably. I think the key question, and at the same time, the services side of things, you can look at a lot of different pieces of it, but it's certainly not moving rapidly down. It certainly remains relatively elevated. I think the challenge is, as we look ahead, some of those big disinflationary impulses that existed with oil prices and gas prices falling and having another leg down through the end of the year, but now reversing and up 60, 70 cents, depending on exactly what you look at, and having those durable goods prices that were falling now starting to rise. I thought it was one of the more interesting pieces of the inflation report was durable goods disinflation started to flip to inflation. That's not a good sign at a time when those sort of the services side of things just isn't moving down as fast as certainly the Fed would hope. That's not a great combination on a forward-looking basis, and so I think that's when Chairman Powell talks about needing more evidence. That's what he means. It's not like no one's sitting here thinking, oh, inflation is going to go to 5% or 10% anytime soon. The question is, are we stabilizing at 3 or are we stabilizing at 2 in a compelling way? And I think that's the question that he's got on his mind. And I think there's good evidence to suggest that maybe they shouldn't be confident that it is there, particularly on a forward-looking basis.